we're gonna go over some news right now. Let's check it out. What's going on this today?
7-year-old Vance Volter is wanted for suspicion of murder. Investigators say he first shot and wounded State Senator John Hoffman and his
we already
wife
did
at
a
their
video
home.
where
They say he then went to the home of State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband.
Minnesota
he opened fire, killing both. Governor Tim Walz called it, quote, a politically motivated assassination. The FBI is offering $50,000 in reward for his capture. And a memorial was set on the steps of the Minnesota State Capitol in St. Paul for Representative Hortman and her husband, Mark. People left flowers, candles, American flags, and left some messages on sticky notes. Senator Hoffman and his wife are in the hospital tonight and are expected to recover.
In Salt Lake City, a man shot at a No Kings demonstration yesterday has died, and police say they have made arrests in that killing.
So there was a death in the protest.
Cell phone video capturing that chaotic scene yesterday at 8 p.m. local time.
So that's why no one's protesting anymore.
Hundreds of people were marching through that downtown area. When officers arrived, they say they found a 39-year-old man suffering from gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital where he died. Officers say he did not appear to be the intended target, but was simply an innocent bystander.
Shortly after the shooting, officers and detectives were flagged down near 100 South, 200 East, and there they found a man later identified as 24-year-old Arturo Gamboa. He had a minor gunshot wound and was hiding in a group of people. At the time of his arrest, officers also recovered an AR-15 style rifle, a gas mask, and a backpack.
Oh yeah, wasn't this the person where they flagged him down because they found a
rifle
in his bag?
charge of murder.
Yeah.
2 armed security guards at that event say they saw Gamboa allegedly raise a gun and run toward the crowd. Police are investigating whether the guards, known as peacekeepers, also discharged their weapons.
For the second.
Oof. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Crazy. Anyways, let's move on. You guys, Rayleigh strikes too. This was earlier. I think this is the strikes they're looking at right now. Sirens going off. Looks like that the interceptors, one just blew up right there. Oh yeah, they found his vehicle and whatnot.
Law enforcement continues to work in partnership to locate and take into custody Vance Volter in relation to these murders and attempted murders. There's a nationwide warrant for his arrest for the murders and attempted murders in this case at the state level, and there's also then a federal warrant for the same crime, or for him as well, for unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. That's through the coordination that's been done with the Hennepin County Attorney's Office and the United States Attorney's Office for that. And so he is wanted on those across the United States. He is not in custody at this time.
All right, well, that was 4 hours ago. He's in custody right now, though.
Attacks continue between Israel and Iran. Israel now confirming at least 14 people are dead, while Iran's health ministry says more than 200 people have been killed since attacks that began on Friday. The Associated Press now reporting that President Trump rejected a plan by Israel to kill Iran's supreme leader, fearing a violent regime could destabilize the
it's
region.
basically right here.
Meaning,
oh shit! Someone's talking. Oh crap! He's not speaking American. Sorry, or English. Never mind.
Many in Israel are now having to shelter in place for protection. Oren Lieberman takes a look at what Israeli families are experiencing.
Glued to the news, Rivi Ginsburg waits for the order she knows is coming. Her husband, who doesn't want to be on camera, checks his phone for the latest from Israel's Homefront Command. The last 2 nights have been a race between the bedroom and the mamad, the Hebrew word for bomb shelter. This is our shelter, Rivi tells me. You see how we get used to it here. We have mattresses. We came to realize that most of the action is at night. An afterthought for so long, the room has become a home within a home, cleared out to make room for 10 people and 3 generations. We have mattresses so 3 kids can sleep on them at night, some toys, coloring books. We just don't know, Rivi says. Red alerts warning of incoming missiles and drones across the country have sent families scrambling to bomb shelters and reaching for their phones.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone, she says,
when the IDF or when the military says that, these are the areas being targeted,
Israel carried out its first
yeah, you kind of have to be like, well, looks like we got to go underground.
Shelters for safety. But the system has not been perfect, and Iranian ballistic missiles have pierced Israel's missile defenses. The damage and the deaths have brought
as you can see, the Iron Dome is not right 100%.
We would have preferred that they first sort out the operation in Gaza that's lasted so long.
What was it? In total, 5 or 6 missiles got through or something like that?
No one asks us. In what
Throughout
could be
the whole
early days of another
bombardment
war,
process.
has tried her best to find moments to laugh.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Iran's got hit
Situation is
too,
far from
with
funny, she
probably
says.
the same,
You have to
maybe
keep your
more,
sanity,
or the same
keep
amount.
your normalcy with the family. No? Oren Lieberman, CNN, Central Israel.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We got the president going to talk about it too.
So we're going to Canada.
Oh yeah, their G7 summit's coming up tomorrow.
A fantastic audience. It was supposed to rain. They gave it a 100% chance of rain, and it didn't rain at all. It was beautiful. And so I asked if they gave it 100% chance, right? 100% it was going to rain like crazy, and it didn't rain at all. How did they predict 100 years out and 50 years out or 200 years out? They didn't do too well, the weather people, last night, but it was beautiful.
Are you and Prime Minister Netanyahu on the same page concerning how to deal with Iran?
Well, we get along very well, and I will tell you that I think we have great respect for each other.
Can you give us
Go ahead, what?
Mr. President, can you give us a sense of what you're doing to try to de-escalate the situation between Iran and Israel?
Well, I hope there's going to be a deal. I think it's time for a deal, and we'll see what happens. But sometimes they have to fight it out, but we're going to see what happens. I think there's a good chance there'll be a deal.
Oh, because of the Iranian nuclear deal.
So the protesters, if we didn't have the National Guard on call and ready, they would rip Los Angeles apart. They come and they check and they say, is the National Guard going to be there? And if the National Guard's being there, they don't even show up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Have you asked Israel to pause their airstrikes into Iran?
Well, I don't want to say that.
Mr. President, do you expect to have some trade deals announced at the G7 summit coming up?
Look, we have our trade deals. All we have to do is send a letter. This is what you're going to have to pay. But I think we'll have a few new trade deals, yeah.
Will the U.S. continue to support the defense of Israel? Will the U.S. continue to support Israel in its defense?
We do, yeah. Thank you very much, everybody.
There you have it. Yeah, there was a lot of topic on, oh, why are you guys defending Israel? Why are you using weapons defense systems to defend Israel? Well, maybe because we have actually people on the fucking ground there, right, who are not combatant units, literally. Yeah, we already have a vested interest in Israel. We already have people working over there. So why the fuck are you even trying?
President Trump is warning.
Oh, what happened? Oh, did he stop? Oh, they stopped. Yeah, okay. Anyway, sorry. I just wanted to check.
President Trump is warning Iran against retaliating on U.S. targets in the Middle East. Tonight, he's headed to Canada to meet with G7 leaders. CBS's Willie James Enman is at the White House. Willie James, the president, with a very clear message when it comes to the Middle East.
Yeah, that's right, Jerika. As fears grow that America's military could be drawn into another conflict in the Middle East, President Trump says the U.S. had nothing to do with Israel's attack on Iran.
With missiles flying between Israel and Iran, U.S. Marines and National Guardsmen deployed in Los Angeles, and nationwide protests capturing the attention of the nation, this has been one of the most tumultuous weeks of President Trump's second term. Today, the president posted that Israel and Iran should make a deal. We will have peace soon between Israel and Iran. Many calls and meetings now taking place, the president wrote. The president also warning the U.S. would respond with force if Iran attacks America in any way. Talks aimed at reducing tensions between the U.S. and Iran.
Well, I mean, they have it in their
today.
slogan.
Chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Tom Cotton, believes the
At least the
increased
Houthis
pressure
do.
on Iran will eventually lead to negotiations.
And he would like Iran to come back to the table. I think now that Iran sees that Israel and America means business and surrender its enrichment capabilities voluntarily. If that doesn't happen, though, I think these strikes are going to continue.
Every other country celebrates their victories. It's about time America did too.
This weekend, a show of force in the nation's capital, honoring the U.S. Army's 250th anniversary. But the event shared a split screen with massive protests across the country. Demonstrators gathering in opposition to the president's policies and his push to expand.
Yeah, apparently there was people
power.
walking around with a gun,
President
and they
Trump
actually
will
killed
meet with
someone.
G7 leaders in Kananaskis, Alberta,
in one of those
starting
protests.
tomorrow. It's his first visit to Canada during his second term, a nation he says should be a 51st state. But Canada's prime minister says that will never happen. Jerika.
Willie James Enman at the White House. Thank you.
There you have it. Israel defense systems intercept Iranian missiles during a recent barrage. There you go. This is the one today, I'm guessing. Yeah. I think we actually saw this one last night. No, never mind. We didn't see this one last night. I think we were asleep, or I wasn't streaming when this happened. Okay.
Go to President Trump, who's speaking right now to reporters.
It was a tremendous success with a fantastic audience. It was supposed to rain. They gave it a 100% chance of rain, and it didn't.
Oh, we already saw this. I'll put this in the doc anyways, but We don't need to see that again. We saw it from a different angle.
This morning, the sole survivor of the deadly Air India plane crash is speaking out from his hospital bed.
It's medical, everything.
Vishwash Kumar Ramesh was in seat 11A of the emergency exit row.
Oh my God,
jet
he was
took off
on
from
the
Ahmedabad
plane.
for London's
He was
Gatwick
the
Airport.
sole
But just
survivor
minutes
on the
later,
plane.
the plane failed mid-air and crashed, killing everyone on board.
Yeah, because it also
except
hit a
for Ramesh.
building,
You
so
can
it was
see him
all like,
here,
oh, maybe
somehow
it's someone from the
walking
building.
away
No,
from the
it's
site.
actually someone
He told
from the
local
fucking
media
plane.
he closed his eyes and thought he was going to die. When he opened them, he realized he could escape.
Emergency door is broken.
Yeah.
My seat is broken.
Yeah.
Then I see the page little bit.
Yeah.
Then I will try to come out. I'm not jumping.
Okay.
I just walk out.
Ramesh says shortly after taking off, the plane came to what felt like a standstill in midair. Green and white lights came on inside the cabin. He said he could feel the engine thrust attempting to go up, but the plane plunged and crashed instead.
Did the aircraft catch fire before you came out?
Yes.
Okay.
A little bit fire. After me, I'm out. Then blast.
Investigators are now piecing together what could have gone so badly wrong to cause the first ever Dreamliner 787 crash. The black boxes were retrieved Friday and they'll offer vital information.
And the plane's wings, we're told, clipped those trees behind me, flew over these buildings before crashing over there.
And up on the roof, we see how this could have been an even bigger catastrophe.
Hundreds, thousands of people live in this neighborhood. It's packed with people. And just 100 yards
Oh
or so
yeah,
away from where I am,
that plane.
that is the fuselage of the plane.
What's going to be looked at by the investigators is that
so
the
close to
landing gear
all
was
that
down
all
when it
the
should have
homes
been
and stuff.
up.
It was
And
insane.
it appears that the flaps, which should have been down, were up, which means that perhaps, for some reason, the flaps were raised when it was actually the landing gear that needed to be raised.
Yeah, and that's what we saw on from that one pilot fighter. He was a pilot for piloting a bunch of different planes. I forgot what day it was. It was like 2-3 days ago or something like that.
This morning, bullet holes a reminder about 2 targeted attacks in Minnesota, and fear growing as the manhunt enters day 2 for the gunman who killed state representative and former Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband inside their Brooklyn Park home. Police say Vance Luther Belter also targeted State Senator John Hoffman and his wife. Both shot multiple times and survived. They remain in the hospital
the
after
other
undergoing
senator,
surgery.
to
gain access to the victims,
he targeted
authorities say
survived.
Belter impersonated a police
they were
officer
injured.
and drove this SUV designed like a squad
The first
car.
pair
The
he
FBI
targeted
posting
didn't
a
make
$50,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of Belter. Surveillance video shared by authorities captured the suspect wearing a cowboy hat and long coat hours after the shooting.
Do not approach him. You should consider him armed and dangerous.
2 people familiar with the investigation tell NBC News the shooter left behind a list, quote, several dozen names long that, quote, includes politicians and non-politicians. According to an official who has seen the alleged hit list, targets include, quote, prominent pro-choice individuals in Minnesota, including many Democratic lawmakers. President Trump condemning the, quote, targeted attack in a post, writing, quote, such horrific violence will not be tolerated. The suspect's housemate said Bolter texted roommates after the shooting that he was, quote, going to be gone for a while and, quote, may be dead shortly.
I don't know why he did what he did. It's not Vance.
The 4 victims were together at a fundraiser just hours before the shooting.
This was an act of targeted political violence.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz ordering flags at half-staff as the state mourns. A Minnesota Congresswoman remembered not only as a trailblazing public servant for over 2 decades, but as a Sunday school teacher, Girl Scout leader, and friend.
She's not just a statistic, nor is her husband, leaving 2 grieving children.
And this morning, the Hoffmans remain in the hospital. Their nephew telling NBC News Yvette Hoffman threw herself on top of their adult daughter to shield her from gunfire. When her husband, the state senator, was shot, a bullet lodged in his chest near his heart. The nephew says neither of them suffered damage to any major organ. Willie?
A story about political violence, but a human tragedy for those families. Adrian brought us in St. Paul, Minnesota this morning. Adrian, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today.
Yeah,
when
and
you're
the
on
strange
the go. Just
thing
follow
is
the Today
the
podcast on Apple Podcasts,
Bolter had a
Spotify,
family
or
of
wherever
himself,
you listen.
right, for himself too. So it made no sense for him to target his other colleagues and shit like that. Like he went full cracked out mode.
Israeli strikes have hit the Iranian capital of Tehran on Sunday. Video on social media and geolocated by CNN shows smoke billowing into the sky in densely populated areas of the city. Other video showed an injured person being carried on a stretcher, while other residents try to suppress a water break, believed to be caused by the strikes.
Yeah, this is in Iran.
A nearby building could be seen damaged, its windows blown out.
Oh, that's strange. When I see when I see this footage,
other video carried on a stretcher, while other residents
they hit like a water pipe.
A nearby building could be seen damaged, its windows blown out.
Yeah, compared to compared to this damage, right? This damage looks more compared to what this is. And this is Iran, right? This is Israel.
We want to take you to some breaking news in Englewood, where there are reports of multiple
Englewood.
injuries after a car went through a crowd.
Rich Prickett is overhead. He's in Sky 5 tonight for us. Rich?
SoFi
Yeah, Rick
Stadium.
and Kareem, we're hearing as many as 10 people.
Yeah,
may have
whenever
been
you,
injured as a result
whoever's
of a
in
crash, a car
California, whenever you
slamming
go
into a
out
group of
and do
pedestrians
like
here
stuff
in
at
Inglewood,
night, or
along
go
Century
out in
Boulevard,
public to
just
like
west
these
of
events,
Prairie. So
yeah,
down
be
the street
careful.
From the Intuit Dome
You
and
got some
SoFi
crazy people
Stadium.
sometimes.
Now, there's no information has not been released yet as far as
Be
how the
very
accident
careful.
happened or information on the driver of the vehicle, but you can see off in the distance the crash scene there with County Fire and investigators. We'll get more information as that comes along, but as many as 10 people were injured. Several of those people
Right, make sure you lock your
needed to be transported
doors. Right.
immediately. According to witnesses, one of those patients may have been
Bring
a 14-year-old
whatever
boy.
self-defense
Of course,
if you
as we get more
can.
information, we will pass it along. In the Inglewood, I'm Rich Prickett.
Especially
Send it
when
back
you're
to you.
going out
All the
to
emergency
these types of
personnel
things.
on the ground there,
'cause
Rich.
it's-
We thank you for that.
You don't know when shit's gonna pop off.
Video game companies.
Sorry, that's the wrong one. And then here's Israel and Iran escalates missile barrage into third day, leaving over 230 deceased. For the third consecutive day, Israel and Iran exchanged missile strikes on Sunday, ignoring international pleas for de-escalation as their intensifying conflict showed no signs of abating. Iran reported that Israeli airstrikes targeted its oil refineries, killed the intelligence of chief of its Revolutionary Guard along with 2 other generals, and struck civilian areas. The relentless bombardment, which began Friday, has claimed 224 lives in Iran and injured 1,277. According to the health officials, who did not specify whether the casualties included civilians or military personnel. Israel, focusing on its attacks on Iran's advancing nuclear facilities and military command, stated that Iran has launched more than 270 missiles since Friday. So they launched 270 missiles and like what, 6 or right? What we know, what we've seen on camera, what, 6 or 7 made it through, something like that. Of those, 22 penetrate. Oh, okay, they say 22. There we go. Israel's advanced multi-layered air defense system. So you notice when how you have the interceptors go out in waves. Yeah, that's what they're essentially doing. When one wave of interceptors finish, they send in the second wave just in case. So basically, it's a layered approach, just in case if something doesn't get caught. But as you can see, even 22 were still able to penetrate. Striking residential areas, killing 14 people, and wounding 390. Israeli authorities reported. This is what? English, Bombay Samakar.com International. Some kind of international news publication site. Or article journalist site. U.S. children from fatherless homes. 90% of runaway homeless kids. 75% of all teenage murderers. 71% of high school dropouts. 70% of kids incarcerated. 63% of youth suicides. And 60% of all rapists. Dads matter. This is just single, right? Fatherless, yes. Children with fatherless homes. Very specific. But, yeah, that's gonna be it for that news segment. And then, yeah, take a look at, more Dad's Gone Live if you want to check out more police, police scanner and drive out stuff. Same with the SoCal shorts. And then we're just checking out the Tel Aviv skyline, Tehran and Israel fight, or the Israel-Iran fight. Alright, give all these channels a like. Go look them up yourself, right? They're all news channels, right? Easy to find on YouTube.